The views and opinions expressed on This Can't Be Adulting are solely those of the host and do not represent or reflect the views of any individual, organization, employer, or entity we may be affiliated with. The content of this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised. Yo, welcome to This Can't Be Adulting, the podcast where two guys who probably should have it all figured out absolutely don't.
Careers, money, relationships. No one handed us a manual, so we're figuring it out the only way we know how, with real talk, deep dives, and a whole lot of laughs.
I'm Herb.
And I'm Derek. And if you're out here wondering, am I doing this right? Trust us, you're not alone.
So hit play, relax, and let's figure this out together. Yo, welcome back to another episode of This Can't Be Adulting, Season 2, Episode
16.
15.
No, 16.
16.
15 says 15.
Yeah, damn, I'm always there.
I'm
almost
this dude
there.
was talking about before we started talking about how he's trilingual. Quadruple lingual.
Quadruple
I'm like,
lingual.
bro, you barely have a firm grasp of the English
I
language,
speak
dog.
English,
right?
Ebonics,
Spanish.
Latin American Spanish,
Latin American Spanish,
and Brazilian Portuguese.
Apparently.
Obrigado.
Obrigado.
I still the same word from the last time.
You
got
a southern accent in Spanish, which is
I'm a country boy from Brazil.
You country dog.
I'm from Manaus.
You're from Manaus? Oh, okay.
I could only think of one other Brazil. I
I
couldn't come up with another city.
I have no fucking
idea.
idea.
Brazil. Yeah, that's the capital.
I have no fucking
idea.
idea.
Yeah. See, again, that's why I'm Brazilian. But
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
and he's not.
No.
But speaking
Why
of,
not?
but I was about to say, but speaking
Colombia,
of,
dog.
I just realized, bro, that was a personalized jersey you got
It's
there.
a personalized jersey, and it's a Free Palestine Columbia jersey.
What?
Yeah, this is a Free Palestine jersey. What up? That I found online that the Colombians are repping right here. But the actual backdrop of the shirt is the official Colombian national jersey for the World Cup.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. You got the butterfly background right here. And
What does the butterfly represent?
Just the biodiversity in Colombia.
Oh,
there's a big biodiversity.
shit.
Or something
I
like
knew
that.
about that.
So it's my new Colombia jersey. I got the Colombia hat because our boys are playing tomorrow in the World Cup first game.
Who y'all got?
We got Uzbekistan.
Oh, yeah, I know where that's at.
Uzbekistan.
You got some viewers there. But anyways.
We got a couple views out there, right?
All right.
Uzbekistan, I think it might be their first time in the World Cup, too.
Who's some players that we need to look at on the Colombian national
On the
team?
Colombian team, James Rodriguez. This will probably be his last World Cup. This is a big culmination for him. So he made his breakthrough in the 2014 World Cup. He won the Golden Boot for Colombia. Colombia made it to the quarterfinals, and they lost to Brazil 2-1 before Brazil went to the semis and lost to Germany 7-1.
Yep. Okay.
But James Rodriguez ended up with 6 goals that season. He was breakout. He was 22. Right after that, Real Madrid called him up, and he went to Real Madrid. Then he was at Bayern Munich. Hell of a season. So he went from meteoric fame, and then he had a precipitous drop. He didn't make the Colombian national team. He was playing in Qatar. He was playing where he was like one of our
what happened?
Partly, you got to watch his documentary on him on Netflix called James. Go watch it. I just watched it recently. It talks a little about it. Part of it is his own decisions, his own cockiness, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And just a lot of it was wrong coaches, wrong time, and it was tough. But
all right, we got him.
He was playing in Minnesota FC recently to play. And anyways, long story short, he plays his best with the Colombian national team.
Okay.
He's so we got him. Right. Of course, the best player in the Colombian national team, Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is one of the best left wingers in the fucking country. He was playing at Liverpool for a while. Now he's at Bayern Munich. Absolutely killing it. You want to be able to watch him too. I'm trying to think who else. There's a couple of other really good players. We've got Luku. Fuck, why am I not saying his name right here? We got Ledesma. Ledesma is really good. He played over at Crystal Palace with Dani Munoz, who plays at Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace just won a European Championship this year. They won the Europa Conference League. Aston Villa won the Europa League. So we had a couple English teams. So we got some ballers, man. We got some ballers out there ready to ball.
All right. So check out the Colombian team tomorrow. Check us out tomorrow.
Big one tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central Time. So it's gonna be good.
All right.
Rep the Colombia though.
What's up? Well, besides that, welcome back on another great TCBA.
TCBA.
It's starting to flow off the tongue when I see the TCBA.
Now it's easy. Now it's easy. Yeah. Because at first I'm like, wait, this can't be adulting. This can't be adulting. Hey, we out here. We getting some decor. We trying to get official like a referee with a whistle.
Yeah, if you don't know, that's Derek over there. It should say authentic Derek. We get that part's coming in. Here's going to say, hey, I heard that other part's coming in. But now, as you can see, thanks to we mentioned her again, Christy. We got some stuff coming
together. We got a little artiste right here. We got our plants thriving.
Yes.
We got our plants out here thriving.
So. What kind of plants are these? Somebody asked me.
I have no fucking idea. I'm the wrong person to ask. I have no idea. Christy, help us out. I can't remember. I know I did pick them, though.
Yeah.
I did pick them. I was like, I like the way this shit looks. I like these kind, but I can't remember what they were, and they weren't cheap. Christy was like, yo, these hoes are expensive, bro. I think total for everything, bro, I probably dropped like $400 on everything.
Yo, we gotta put our GoFundMe up.
Yeah, GoFundMe, help us out. We struggling artists out here.
Right?
Is podcasting considered an art?
Yeah. We artists.
We artists.
We artists. Yeah, we're creators. We create art over here. This is art over here. What you talking about?
Art, well, as you can see, we're not drinking alcohol today. Back to your regularly scheduled water. Mm-hmm.
I wonder. It didn't. Do you think there was a difference? I feel like the subject also maybe made it a little bit lighthearted, but I thought you can see we can handle our.
We were drinking some light shit, and it was one drink. That's it. But
right,
a little bit different. It was a weekend. Now we're in the middle of a weekday, right? So we out here serious.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. And on a serious topic today.
Very serious topic.
But hey, maybe fill us in. What we talk about today?
Yeah, so I've been wanting to do this topic for a little bit. I brought this up probably 2 months ago. It's the idea of work ethic.
Yes.
Work ethic versus laziness, and kind of broaching that entire subject because I think it's very much at the forefront of what we deem in Western society as valuable in terms of characteristics of a human being. And I think it's crazy that we view it that way. We live very much in a capitalist society where it's all about work. Hey, great
bag
song.
at Riri.
Yeah.
And Drake. Don't do that.
Oh, yeah, Drake is in that.
Don't do that.
He was good. No, I dead ass didn't mean it like that. You're right.
Here we go.
And so I just think it's a fascinating conversation because I clearly have my thoughts about it.
Yes.
But I also think it's very important because this is one of those topics where you can literally go back to what did you learn about work ethic as a youngster versus how you see it today, what you see it today, because that is a piece. This is a subject where I think indoctrination played a huge play into how we view that today.
Yeah.
So I thought we could have a spirited discussion about what our thoughts are on it.
Yeah.
And just see kind of what everyone else thinks as well.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as always, let's go back to her back in the 90s. I always say the 90s because even though we were born in 1985, I pretty much throw away the first 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember much in the first 5 years.
Yes.
But talk to me about what your idea was about work ethic and working hard versus what was lazy, what wasn't. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I think it was pretty simple. I feel like growing up, it was more so looked at as work ethic. You're gonna be people who your work ethic is gonna determine your value, your worth in life. And what I mean by that is the people who were working the hardest were making the most money. And it's like a 1-to-1 ratio. And the harder you work, the more you're going to make.
That's what you thought?
Or that's what I thought. That's what I was told. That's what I was thought. It was go to work hard. You're going to be successful. The people who got the most money, they're to work the hardest. They're the smartest. That's why they got it. And if you ever want to get, be successful like them, then you're going to have to work the hardest and work the smartest. And that's how you're going to get it. And that's what, even to this day, it's still a lot of that is still resonates with me, I would say, thinking of it. But also, as I've gotten older and looked at some of the theories and some of the indoctrination that I'm sure we're going to point out, is that it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. You're not getting paid on what your value is, quote unquote, to a company. And that's kind of what we thought is that I'm worth $150,000 because I'm making the company $150,000, and that is what my worth is, and that's necessary. I don't think that's necessarily how it is.
That's necessarily how it was. So as a child, when you were seeing these messages, where were you getting these messages from?
From home. I mean, this was my family.
What did your parents say?
Same thing. They both worked. I mean, they were always working. They was you're gonna work hard, and they were doing well. So it was okay, well, they go to work every day. They're doing well. I saw people that didn't go to work, every day, and I didn't, and that weren't doing well, and that was the kind of how I envisioned it. Now I didn't know. Even people that was I would say in my neighborhood, let's say not in my, but in my city, white people that wasn't in my neighborhood, the people that had the most money, I assumed that they were the hardest working and the smartest, and that's what they carried themselves like. And then the people that didn't have it were the ones that were they weren't educated and they wasn't working hard and they were lazy. And this is around the time when, we talked about drugs on a previous episode, the crack epidemic, but this is really around when weed was considered a drug, and a lot of people smoke weed, and it was like, yo, if you smoke weed, you're gonna be lazy, you can't work, you're never gonna have a job, you're just gonna sit on the couch. That's all you're gonna ever be. So those are kind of the things that were instilled in me growing up, and that's kind of what I saw growing up, and for the longest time, that's what I subscribed to.
I think, you know, being younger, they made the here's my take on it, like a little bit of my take on it today, but like everything is fed to us as if how our lives turn out are strictly based on individual decisions.
Yes.
On your own individual decisions, on your choices, on the actions that you make. And similar to you, when I was growing up, that was the message that I got from my parents. You know, do you ever recall if someone passed away, one of the first things that they would say about a person would be like, oh, he or she was such a hardworking person.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like that was like this whole badge of honor. Like that meant that they were a good person automatically. And so similar to you, I assumed you work hard, whatever work hard means, you work hard. Intrinsically, you have value as a human being. You're worth going to bat for. You're worth saying that you're a good person. So it was almost like working hard meant you were a good person, which we know now is 100% not the reality. Like, just because you work hard does not mean that you're a good person at all. But I think that was the message that was always given to me. And that's why I did work hard when I was younger. That's why I went. Make sure you go get your good grades. Go work hard and get your good grades. Now, you know, was I actually working hard? I thought school was a joke, being honest with now in hindsight. I rarely remember a time where I struggled. I think I struggled a little bit in 6th grade because I had gotten into gifted class. But other than that, like, I would fucking do schoolwork with my eyes closed. Like, it wasn't hard work, but it was like work. Whereas in the kids that weren't doing well, they weren't doing any work. And so again, this got furthermore indoctrinated in my head. Like, oh, okay, they're just not doing anything. You know, like I remember very distinctly, one of my teachers in 8th grade, we had it was my social studies teacher. So we had an exam, and we had a quiz or an exam, one of those two, and everybody knew about it before, and so I would just naturally understood stuff, like I told you, which just wasn't hard. And so I probably studied for like 15 minutes, to be honest with you. If I even studied, I can't remember. And so I ended up getting like a 98 or something like that. And then we took the exam, and the next day he came in, he was pissed at everybody. And he's like, we all need to have a talk. He was like, 85% of you guys failed. Completely failed. You've known about this for 2 weeks. It was like, there's a very handful of few people who were like, here's the people that, Derek, how long did you study? And I didn't know if I had passed or failed. I was just scared. I was like, I don't know, like 15 minutes. He was like, he studied for 15 minutes, and he got a 98. He was like, what's your excuse to everybody else? And so again, it gets pushed into you. And for me, it was like, well, that wasn't hard work, but I did do something. So in my mind, I'm like, no one else did anything. It's dangerous because it gave me a feeling of superiority, as if I was better than them. And that's a dangerous connotation. I guess my point is with all that is we are almost all of us, especially in United States, Western society, are made to believe that your work ethic means that you're better than others. And I think that's a dangerous position to be in. I think that's why we have so many problems in the world today. But let me throw that back at you.
Well, I would say even mine almost feel like it was flipped, whereas like you're saying, like, you know, your work ethic is what the value was. To me, I almost saw it in the reverse, where like if you seemed like you were successful, then you obviously was working hard.
That's a good point.
And that's how I was.
Doesn't mean that you were working hard.
Not at all.
It's all optics at this point.
I thought like there's no way you can be successful because there's no way you can't be working hard if you're that successful. And it's like that was always tied to me. Like the reason why people are this successful is because those are the hardest working people. And then as I gotten older, like that ain't necessarily what I started to see in corporate. Like as I worked in corporate America, as I went through, like, I would just say mostly from a professional aspect, like that's not what I saw when I started working in corporate America.
I think there's a level that we're also a layer here that we're not even talking about, and it does come down to, you and I talked about this in episode 1, season 1, episode 6. It may have been episode 7. Growing up brown and black in America. There's a level of ethnicity and race that goes into this too. Because when we are talking about working hard, the reality is that black and brown people work way harder than most white people. to get to where they need to be.
Oh yes, to get to that same, to get to the same. Yes,
we have to work a lot harder.
Yes,
a lot harder.
Yes, and expectations are a lot.
Expectations are absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I think there's a stat that says the black woman is the single most educated person in the United States, demographic in the United States.
Yeah.
And I think black women are probably the most disrespected.
Absolutely.
They have the hardest in this country.
I would say they have the hard. Like black women have the hardest of a subset of group of people in America.
100%.
Like they have the hardest, and it's like you say, for the amount of education that they have, and the lack of value that's shown, that we consider quote value by equity shown within corporations is crazy.
Yeah, and so I do believe that there was definitely a level of hard work, and when I say hard work in that sense, when we talk about that, it's not even necessarily like there's a lot more we have to overcome. And that we had to overcome.
Yes.
For example, and I gave this example in one of the other podcasts, I came from a school district that didn't do very well, that wasn't considered a really good school district. A lot of school districts in Rhode Island aren't predominantly the heavy minority-based ones. It's just the reality of it. Yeah. And that's no diss on them. There was less money.
I think you see that throughout America.
You see it everywhere. Yeah. And so I came from a school district where I told you where I probably could have graduated valedictorian in my previous high school. I was in all honors. And when I moved to my new high school, sophomore year, the town over, it was slightly better. And when I tried to go into the gifted classes, the honors classes, they were like, oh no, your honors classes there is not the same as our honors classes
that was
here.
Just crazy.
Yeah, so they were like, you have to take a step below. So I took the middle course. I'm like, what you mean?
Yeah.
But I did see the difference.
Yeah.
I did see the difference between the people that were in those higher classes. It was like, oh shit. So I had to work a little bit harder just to, in high school it was a little bit different, but when I got to college, I saw the big difference.
Boy.
Didn't you? We talked about this. And so while college to me also wasn't extremely difficult, I did struggle a lot more.
That was more, college is an effort thing.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, for me,
I couldn't slide by the way I slid by in high school.
At all. Like there was like,
and I wasn't sliding by. It was
too
colors.
Much going on where it's like, it was time. It was more so time, not effort, more so the time that was going to take to complete the task. Like no matter how smart you were or how quick you can pick it up, at the end of the day, it still was going to take 3-4 hours to write the paper.
Yes.
And it's like, damn, I got to figure out a way to fit this into my schedule where before I could get shit done in class.
Yeah.
And then that's how I do it in class. Yeah, like, and that's literally all I had to do going through high school. But like you said, once I got to college, I was like, holy shit, I've been slapped with. Man, not only am I needing to catch up on shit that I don't even know that they've already learned. And then I need to catch up on like understanding like how to fit this paper into my schedule and with all this other stuff that I'm finally learning all at once. It was like all come together at once. So like that's where I would say the struggle with me when I got to college was like, how do I fit the time in to get these tasks done? And that's no more cramming. Because I was always good at like, even in college, like, yo, if we're going to take a test and you're going to give me like, you said some time to study for it, a day to study for a test, and it's multiple choice or something like that. Like I can figure. I have a good sense of what the questions is and how to deduct it down. But like far as like when it comes to like writing papers and doing research and stuff, I had to learn that.
I just feel like the reality is we were behind the 8 ball a little bit once we got into college with the things that we learned, the skills that were taught that some of our white counterparts, and it's not all white counterparts because you grew up with a lot of white people that were in the same school system as you. I don't mean that. I just mean in general. They came from a lot of them came from private schools, and so I got in and they were 10 steps ahead of me.
Yes.
And I remember I was like, oh, I don't know this. I told you also, I told this too, where I was transferring to the college communication. I had to take a bridge course to get me out of my college in that one. If I didn't get a B in that class, I was going to be out. And the first day we get in, they did a straight up vocabulary grammar test, and I got a 43.
Yeah.
Everyone else passed. I was the only one that failed, and he was like, you got one more shot at this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, how? And I was good at English when I was in high school, but I clearly wasn't taught the things that they were taught.
Yes.
Like I was behind the ball, so I had to work harder to just get all that shit down packed so I could pass. And then I took it and I got an 85 on the second exam. Thank God. And I ended up passing class with an 85. But it was like, it hit me in the face how much further ahead some people were. And this is what I mean by usually people of color have to work harder.
Yes.
Because we have to work harder to not only catch up isn't right, to overcompensate for the lack of quality school systems that we've come out of.
Yes.
To catch up to our counterparts.
Yes.
And then also exceed them later on down the road.
Yep.
And so that was it. with that said, everything that I did in college too, I worked with a badge of honor. Like I was better than people. I said, I'm a D1 athlete. So I'm practicing all the time. I'm traveling. I'm working 15, 20 hours a week part-time. And I'm going to school and I'm getting above a 3.0 at Boston University. I thought I was the hot shit. But this is the way I was made to think that I'm working hard, so that means I'm better than the people that I used to go to high school with that are not doing this shit and shit. Yeah. It's like in hindsight, that's crazy. And I know some people here might think it's different, but I also think it's an old school mentality. Like our parents, I can imagine your parents and my parents too, the same way. You got to go work hard.
Oh yeah, that's what it was always like. You're gonna have to work hard, get out, work hard, and then people will pay you what your worth is based on how hard you're working. If you're working really hard, they're going to pay you a lot. If you ain't working really hard, then you're not going to get paid a lot, regardless of what the profession is. Like you can go be a school teacher. Like it just didn't matter. It's just more so like this is what you're going to be paid at that value, I feel like. So I think, like I said, once we got into technology and once I got into like corporate America and seeing like, man, it ain't necessarily the hardest working. Now you still got to work hard. Like we're not. I want to make sure clear. Like we're not saying you can't work hard, and like that's not what I don't want to take. Like you're gonna have
it's not absolute
work ethic. It's about evaluating what is hard work for yourself and what's your work ethic going to be.
Well, a couple of things. I think yes, you're spot on. I want to be clear. When we say working hard and we start talking about if it feels like we're rallying against hard work or this work ethic mentality, that doesn't mean the complete opposite, that, we just don't want to work or you shouldn't just want to work. That's not what I mean. Because here's the reality. Humans were designed to work. We're designed to work.
That's why you find value in it. That's why you find purpose in it.
Don't get me wrong. I guess, and I think this is where you and I are going to divulge a little bit from it. I think that it's a dangerous precedent that we set when we are putting value on us as humans based off of your productivity. Where I always think, you are a human. You deserve human dignity, integrity. You have intrinsic value either. That doesn't mean that I'm giving everyone a green light. Not that my opinion matters here, but I'm not giving someone a green light to just not work and be, I don't even want to say the word lazy, but just do nothing on the couch and live in your mom's basement. That's not what I'm saying. But we need to stop trying to tell people that just because they're not working 80 hours a week, that you ain't shit.
Yes.
And that's a lot of what society tells us right now. I think there's another layer to this, which sounds, correct me if I'm wrong, which you're saying is like, even beyond that, even people that work 80 hours sometimes ain't getting their due.
Right.
And there's people that are working 40 hours or even less that are making so much fucking money. And it's like, I think that's part of what you're saying too, right?
And even like your 20 hours of work and somebody 80 hours of work don't necessarily mean that they put, like if you're working 20 hard hours doing a specific role and somebody's working 80 hours, in some other role, the person doing 80 hours doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing more work than you or working harder than you, because it depends on what those 20 hours that you're doing. Like, because everybody can't, you can't just, if you're doing something physical labor, you can't power through 60, 100, 140 hour work weeks like that. Just physically you can't do that because you burn yourself out. Whereas like people that are like sales reps or CEOs or people that are executives be like, I work 80 hours a week, 120 hours a week, and it's like, but what does that mean? Like you flew here, had a meeting here, had a meeting there. You had meetings at 10 p.m. maybe you had another meeting, like, but what are we really saying? Like work hard, and that's why you're saying like you're worth millions, is because
but also who gives a fuck? So what? Good for you. Like stop throwing that as a badge of honor in front of people. Like that's
I see what you're saying. Yes.
All right, good for you, bro. That's your personal choice. Just because you do that doesn't mean that I can do that. Because also where we are in the world right now, where we have all these billionaires and these crazy billionaires.
That's my excuse for all, and I agree with you on that part. Where like my excuse for being a shitty person is like I put in 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week, and I work this much so that so I can be a shitty human. I can talk down to people. I can
act like I'm better. Like you didn't do what I did. Like blah blah. And it's like, bro, no. First of all, I'm not asking to be a billionaire. I don't want to be a billionaire. Most people
you're not going to be a billionaire. It ain't even nobody is going to be a billionaire. Everybody I'm looking at right now, you are not. Nobody is going to be a billionaire. Get that out your head.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But I feel like because of this, our society leads us to believe that anybody could be a billionaire if we work hard.
It's a form of admiration. Now you have all these people that are cucking and bootlicking for billionaires and like defending them online, being like, "Oh, they must be smart. They must be so hard work. If they have billions, they must be good people." When it's like, yo, so AOC had a fucking great. She had a great take on the billionaires thing, Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, where she stated that it's literally impossible to legitimately earn $1 billion.
Yes.
Like, it's impossible because such extreme wealth isn't earned. It's a myth. It's a myth that's been thrown at us. That has to be thrown at us, and it's built on corporate power, on labor exploitation, on paying workers less than they're worth.
Yes.
Like, all of this is how people become billionaires. They're not going out there and earning it.
You can't.
So stop fucking idolizing these billionaires like, oh, they must work so hard and they earn it, so they're good people. Fuck that. Yeah. They're exploiting the system. They're buying and compacting power.
Yes.
That's what they're doing.
But, they earned it. But, I mean, we live in this American dream, this capitalistic society where, again, even through that's even indoctrinated through us through higher education. It's not like this was still like we were talking about, growing up where we were learning these things that, we saw this through, at home, but this was also at school. Like, it was the same thing. And you mentioned
in
that,
corporate America, at
higher
work,
education, same thing. It's always this myth of meritocracy.
It's crazy.
And it's not
meritocracy.
That's not
the word. Yes.
That's not the truth of what we really experienced. Now, I was listening to a podcast and they was talking about, have you heard of the marginal productivity theory?
I have heard of it, but please elaborate.
And this is the dominant framework in mainstream economics, and it's widely used to kind of justify wage settings in American professional and corporate culture. But the theory is that in a competitive labor market, that workers are paid a wage equal to their marginal revenue product, MRP, essentially saying that the additional revenue a worker generates for the firm by being there, in simple terms, that's what their worth is. So if you're getting paid $150,000, you're making $150,000 for the company. And if you're underpaid, then somebody will, if you're actually worth that, then another company will come and pay you $150,000. Or if you're overpaid, then the company will fire you. But at the end of the day, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and that's where the mainstream media, that's a theory we have, is that we own this MRP where like we're going to be paid 1-for-1 on what our productivity is,
which is ridiculous. I want to tap into this this notion of like the opposite of, if you're not working hard, you're essentially lazy, per se,
especially in our community,
and I don't like the word lazy, and I almost want to say laziness doesn't exist because there's a history behind it. There's a history behind the word. I think today being labeled as lazy is kind of treated like one of the worst things a person can be. If you think about
absolutely.
it, I hear my parents say, "Oh, that person's so lazy," and it's like, what? Based on and I fell for the bait all the time. I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and it's like, what are we talking about? Laziness is used to judge someone's moral character. It does that instead of like describing their behavior. It's an easy thing to say. It's fucking lazy. There's this guy that has this book, and I want to read it. I haven't read it yet, but I did a lot of research on this before we had this episode. His name is Devin Price, and the name of the book is called "Laziness Does Not Exist." He argues that our culture has tied a person's worth to their productivity and output, and that's kind of what I've been saying here. Yeah. So where does this belief come from? And this is super, super telling and interesting. Much of it can be tracked to the Protestant work ethic that emerged in the 17th century, when they came from England to the United States, and it was brought over by the colonial Americans or by Puritan settlers. Under this worldview, hard work was seen as evidence that a person had been chosen by God for salvation, while idleness suggested the opposite. Now, why do you think that they were espousing this laziness and work ethic theory?
It's for the same reason why they push religion, control to get you to do.
Over who? What was big in the 1600s? What was happening in the 1600s when it came to work? Who was working? Were they working? Who was working?
It's about
slavery. Slavery was working. So that is big. Your ass off. Colonial America was built in large part on the back of enslaved people.
Yeah, that's very true.
So religious and cultural narratives were often used to encourage obedience and acceptance of harsh working conditions for slaves. Because for slaves, it wasn't behooving them to work hard. So it's like, how do we get them to work hard? The only thing that slaves really had back then was religion. And so they would tell them, that suffering and hard labor were framed as morally virtuous, with a promise of rewards in the afterlife.
Absolutely.
That was the message.
You put your work in here. Idle hands are for the devil.
Exactly. And I'm like, yo, this shit's crazy. This shit is still happening now because here's the big thing. Enslavers, and this is where I see the connection with what's happening today. Enslavers feared leisure and free time. Why do they fear it? Because they believe that it could lead to resistance, organizing, or revolt. So constant labor became a tool of control. Guess what's happening today? Many of these beliefs still influence how we think today. And I've said this before. I've said this all the time. I said they overwork us so we can't organize.
Of course.
That's it.
You can't think about it.
They go, oh, you don't have enough money to pay for your mortgage? Then pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Go get another job.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go get another job.
Go get a side gig. Yeah. Like this whole side hustle thing. I hate the hustle
Go back mentality. To school, get an education so that you can be valued more.
I hate the side hustle mentality. I can't stand it because why the fuck do we need a side hustle?
I agree with you there. Why do
we need a side hustle?
One job should be enough.
One job should be enough.
Plenty enough, yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't want to work. We want to work as humans. We all want to work. You're right. It brings value.
Yep.
But at what point is enough enough?
Yeah,
you know, that's the big thing. And it's also a way in these days to divulge from the real conversations that need to happen, the real change that need to happen. If you assume that homelessness is simply the result of laziness, then we can ignore housing shortages. We can ignore wage inequality. We can ignore systemic barriers.
It's not anyone else's fault. It's their fault.
Your fault.
I don't have to point. I get the point.
So why do I have to look at policy to try to change that? Mm-hmm. If we view addiction, we talk about addiction as nothing more than a lack of discipline, then we can dismiss the need for mental health care, treatment programs, and social support. Like a lot of this is a you problem.
Yes.
So we don't have to take care of the systems in place that are nefarious against you that have put a lot of us in this position.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I found that very interesting when I was delving into it. I actually saw a really, really good video about this on YouTube, and this girl was spitting facts, and I was like, ooh, I need to dig into this. I need to dig into this.
Well, I mean, how do you think that? Is there any chance of changing it?
I think there's a chance of changing it. The issue is that I'm going to say this word the right way. Motherfuckers need to be woke, bro. You need to be woke to this shit.
I think you see a lot of Gen Zers who are coming. I won't say coming, but they kind of who's subscribing to this, where this whole principle of like we shouldn't have to kill ourselves for our companies.
Yeah.
And I know that to me. That almost sounds like it's almost like sounds opposite of like what we were taught growing up. Like, man, you're supposed to bust your ass for this company, and they may reward you, and you'll get rewarded on the back end, or they'll keep promoting you, or you'll eventually retire from somewhere. But at the end of the day, still, like you said, like it was gonna be like, yo, you pass away, that was a hard working ass dude. That's one thing you can say. He showed up and he worked every single day of his life, and it's like, for what? Next week you're replaced.
Next week they cut you off.
Replaced.
It's fucking insane because you're right. Look, modern culture is encouraging us to not only work a 9 to 5, but then to spend our 5 to 9 trying to optimize ourselves, increase productivity, earn more money, get that side hustle.
Well, I remember like even growing coming out of school, like, I want to get a job with a salary. I don't want to work hours. Yeah, I want the thing was you want to get a salary job because then you get paid no matter if you go to work or not. But it's like then you look at it and be like, no, bro, you're putting in way more than 40 hours a week. Than that's why they pay
with the salary.
Yeah, with the salary, like, bro, it ain't no on and off. You just always on work, and ever since I've been in corporate America, it's literally been that. Like even now, it's like it's always on work. There is no off. Like
there is no off now. At least back then, there was no internet connection like that.
Yes.
So you left work on a Friday. We left work at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You were done.
Yes.
You were done. No one had cell phones. You weren't gonna get a call on your landline.
Nope.
Now. Oh, why didn't you answer my email, bitch? Because you emailed me at 8:30 at night.
Email you, text me, man. You text you, call you, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It don't matter. Like bro. You're never off. Like, and it's kind of like.
And look, there's also this whole aspect of. I also understand, like, for example, there's people that are so severely underpaid, like that do so much more meaningful work, so much more important work, like nurses.
Yep.
Nurses get paid. One of my ex-girlfriends was a nurse, and she would always say this. She'd be like, yo, you out here working a sales job, making 6 figures in a base salary, and I see you clock out sometimes 5 hours in. I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's true. She's right.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. And she was like, but I'm out here doing this, and they pay me $65K a year. And I'm like, yeah, that's not just.
Yeah.
It's not just. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Why? It's almost to the point you're looking at. Yeah. Why are you wasting your value being a nurse when you can go and make 6 figures being a sales rep? And it's like, we shouldn't think that way. It shouldn't be that way. It should be literally looked at the flip side. We're like, man, nurses are way undervalued for what they do. But
there's a lot of it. Teachers, this is such important work, bro. Teachers in other countries are treated like the leaders that they are, like the cornerstones to their community that they are, and they get paid like that.
Yep.
Here, like, not only we did the education episode, we talked about this. Not only are they not treated like that, they're being told what they exactly to the T, what they need to say, do, teach. And so, like, you don't really have autonomy over actually touching a student, but that didn't sound good, but like actually relating to them, connecting with them and having that impact with them by your own uniqueness. And it's like, there's so many of these that are underpaid and they're overworked. Overworked. And somebody got to do that work though.
Oh yeah. And it's almost the opposite. Like the ones that are underpaid and undervalued are the ones that's doing the most work and having the toughest environments and that they're having to teach within. Whereas like a teacher not to say anything at a private school, but a teacher at a private school who's teaching gifted kids is not dealing with the same struggle of someone that's at an inner city school in an urban area in America that's having to try and worry about not just the education, but the safety, the well-being, the hunger, like all these things within their classroom. So I think it just goes back to like the teachers that are even having to put in the most work aren't even being rewarded the most in their own industry, in their own backyard. And it's unfortunate.
Travesty. And it's all joke. And touching on something you mentioned earlier, us being millennials, I feel like we're stuck right in the middle of like the messages that we were delivered, that we were told when we were younger, and like, but wait, like I know this isn't right.
Yes.
And so it's a constant struggle between us internally. And this is a lot of the reason why I do have so much anxiety and why I do struggle. I was having this conversation, shout out to Ramona, I always shout out, she listens. We have this conversation all the time over voice note about this work ethic, because she works her ass off. She's got her PhD. She's Dr. Ramona von Leiden. Check her out. She's a neuroscientist. Kills it. Does really well. But she's also in like a position we talk about it where she's like, we've been taught as millennials to work our asses off, when in reality it's like, yo, I shouldn't have to work more than 40 hours a week. Like I just shouldn't have to do that. It doesn't need to be the case, but like we're in such an internal battle with ourselves.
Not enough. Like even hearing 40 hours, like that's not enough. Almost like just hearing that, and it shouldn't be that. Like it shouldn't. I bet a lot of people are going to be hearing this and being like, "Oh, well, man, they just don't want to work hard." But like for 40 hours is nothing. Like you at least got to do 60. And it's like,
says who? Says your billionaire fucking overlords?
Yes, because like, the CEO of the company jumped on the meeting and said, "We got to keep putting it in,
and you got to keep putting it in." And there's also the difficulty of like understanding like they're purposely making things more and more expensive because they want us to continue working. Like I said, this is all the system that's put in place. This is why we say tax the billionaires. This is why we say we need to be down with a lot of the. I kind of want to be socialist. Got to be down with some of these fucking systems. It's not because we want to stop ingenuity, pioneering of new industries.
It's just gross to have a trillionaire.
It's that. Like, can we say that even more?
Like, that's so crazy.
How do we have a trillionaire? What's the number? It takes 11 days to count up to 1 million.
Seconds.
It takes 32 years to count to 1 billion.
Again, say that again. So we have 1 million seconds was 11 days ago. 1 billion seconds
was 32 years
ago. And 1 trillion seconds was the Ice Age.
32,000 years ago. To count to 1 trillion.
A man has enough money to where he could have given $1 every single day since the Ice Age and still had plenty left. 100 million left over. 100 billion left over. He's like 1.1 trillion. 100 billion left. Like that's unfathomable. Like you can't even.
Why?
But we get on and we gloat this idiot. He shouldn't even be. I don't want to get his ban.
But
it shouldn't be safe for him to even live on Earth to be worth that much.
That's why he wants to go to Mars. That's why he wants to go to Mars.
Send his ass there then. Go by yourself, bro. Go by yourself, bro.
Like the things that they do, the manipulation tactics, but everyone, but he worked hard. Papa is smart. Yo, bro, it's all about market consolidation. It's all about exploitation. It's all about cheating people out of wages. It's all about all
that's
this.
What I hate.
But these are the fucking people that you guys want to idolize and admire. That's not a good person. Who are you inside as a moral person, as a character?
Yes.
Like, what are you about? Are you a kind person? Do you support policies that help people and not screw people over?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what it's about. That's what life is about. You can be all that and still be a worker and still go make your money. But like, unfortunately, they're squeezing us right now. They're squeezing us.
But the first thing if let's say we're at a bar, we're in a setting, and we meet somebody, we're still.
What's the first question you ask?
Hey, what do you do?
What do you do for a
living?
living?
Your name? What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
And based on what they say, I'm gonna make a judgment on it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like it shouldn't be that. And that's why I know we spoke about this before, but I'm trying to get to where it's like. The question I try to ask is like, what's something you're into? Or
what do you do for fun?
Yeah, what do you do for fun?
What do you like to do for fun?
What's something you're working on personally? Mm-hmm. Something like that, and you get a different response out of people. Yeah. And I think that's a better way to lead than Now, if they want to tell you about work, I know we mentioned that before.
I also think work is still a very big
important
part
because
of
it does take up a lot of time.
It does. So it's not even to say that, but to lead with that is to say, I'm already judging you for what you do.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because I obviously am not working full time right now. I've been working at a museum since January. I be saying that shit proudly though. I'm like, I work at a museum. I'm doing a little hiatus right now. You'd be surprised. A lot of people take that, pretty decently. Although I did have that one instance where there was a young female that I was going on a date with who kind of texted me after and was like, yeah, you work at, I don't want to say she was being like, but she was like, I kind of want to travel a lot with my partner right now. I know that takes money. I don't know if you're in the position, like some shit like that. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, you're right. I ain't gonna be traveling the next year. I'm just not gonna be doing that. So if that's what you're looking for, then go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? And so we ended it there.
Yeah.
A little like, it is what it is. But that was the one situation where I was like, okay, that was weird. But for the most part, people are like, oh shit, that's what's up. You work in a museum?
I think it's people getting. I think more people are more. I think again, as we get into like a more generation where people are again reevaluating how are we going to judge value of people, and I think as we're seeing more and more grotesque out of these, billionaires, trillionaires that we're going to start seeing, I think that's almost flipping the tide on how we view these individuals. And again, it's going to come back to like what we're going to value as a society. Because I hope this changes. Because like again, to see someone become a trillionaire is just, and even though a billionaire is astronomically crazy, a millionaire is even doing very, very well. But like, I don't know, just something about just made me feel like that's just so nasty, so gross that one person would have that amount.
It's disgusting.
I mean, it doesn't even exist. And it's like, even what's the purpose of it? Like, what's the reason for having it? Like, you're never going to need the money. You're never going to cash the money out. You're never going to use it. Like, so what's even the purpose of? And
here's the reality. But like I said, that man didn't earn that shit, bro.
And that's really the big thing.
He made a series of fucking decisions. He was he was born with a silver spoon up his ass. His family made money off of the apartheid in South Africa.
Yeah.
Like that's what it did.
And it's the worst of the worst that we let this come. We can see if there's like this altruistic person that like, I see if Stephen Hawkins became a billionaire or Neil deGrasse Tyson or some of these, astrophysicists became trillionaires. Like, all right, but these are the smartest people in the world. We can see it. This fool ain't that.
No, bro. He failed upwards. And that was it. He bullied his way, and like I said, he consolidated market power. He exploited people, and he came from a fucking shitty family that was fucking exploiting the people of South Africa with the apartheid movement. It's like, this isn't even a person that was man-made. The same people that are like, oh, Trump this, bro. Oh, he just got a small loan of $1 million from his dad to start his business.
That's such a lie.
And then you got people like, Pat Bev Dave. I fucking can't stand that motherfucker. Bro, he sounds like the dumbest ogre when he talks. He's like, that's what he sounds like. I'm like, bro, you sound so fucking dumb. Like, you're so fucking dumb. And he's having this conversation with Uncle Sam Cedar. I love Sam Cedar. Talking about like, you don't think Trump is like fucking super successful or blah, blah. He was like, Trump has been bankrupt like 6-11 times. He got money from his dad. He was like, yeah, but look how many people, when they're given a ton of money, look how many of them fail. And it's like, what? What does that have to, like, what are you talking? So he's giving him credit for not squandering the $1 million. Yeah. Like, bro, like, if that's what you're thinking, if that's our jumping off point, like, you're giving him credit for not squandering the $1 million, and bro, shut the fuck
that he didn't up. That he was giving,
yeah, like, he's like, look how many fucking rich babies have all they look what they do. And I'm like, bro, he's such a fucking idiot. Like, all these people, most of these people aren't self-made either.
Yeah, of course not.
They're all come from wealth.
Yes.
And they learn how to
that's the easiest way.
How to keep wealth, how to move wealth, how to hide wealth. That's what they do.
Yes.
Being a hard worker because they're, like you said, on calls and moving money around here and being sleazy in this way does not make them a good person.
Yeah.
Should not give them inherent value. And I think so much in this world, we're putting so much value on the wrong things. It's on money. It's on wealth. It's on how hard you work. It's on how many likes you have on social media, how many videos you put up there. It's on all these superficial things.
Yep.
And we've lost track of, like, what really matters. What the connections you make, how you make someone feel, how you make people feel.
Yeah.
And so part of the reason why I wanted to have this, or a lot of the reason why I wanted to discuss this, is because I want us to stop fucking automatically calling people lazy and judging them for this, and this, when it's like, bro, this is all a construct. These are all systems that were put in place that were created for a reason, and the reason is control.
Absolutely.
They just want to control us.
Yes. But I mean, again, we're seeing more and more people at the top and I say more and more people, it's a small amount of people amassing all of this wealth. And again, they're just tricking us into being like, if you do this, you will be here with us as well. And it's like, you have no chance.
It's a myth.
No chance. Yeah. You have no chance, no matter how much work you put in for your company. You have no chance of ever being the CEO of that company.
Yeah.
And I know people like, oh, that's not the American dream. That's not the American way. That's not the the American mindset. But that's just the truth of the matter.
It's reality.
Yeah, it's reality. And it's not to say don't work. Again, I don't want people to think that we're saying do not work hard. Yeah. Do not put pride in your work. Do not put pride in your profession. Do not put pride in what you do. Do not strive to be better. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that your value is not directly tied to your occupation.
Yeah. You're exactly. And your energy is sacred. Your energy is sacred, so just make sure you know where you're putting your energy.
But damn, how do you balance that when the bills come?
Well, I was just gonna say that. You took that. I was like, understanding like shit is expensive. Yeah. And so unfortunately, we do live in this system right now. And until the system is completely dismantled, like we've gotta figure out how to thrive and survive in the system. And that's kind of my struggle right now. Like I'm really struggling with, man, shit's expensive, and I don't want to go back into sales in corporate America. But I'm probably going to have to because I need to make money and I want to retire. You and I are on the same page.
Yeah.
And it sucks because I see it. Like it's like I see it right here. It's just clear as day to me, like what they're doing to us. You know, it's like what I don't know what else to do.
Yep.
Like, people go create your own company. Oh yeah, because it's that easy. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying
tap in.
I'm not saying I'm looking for easy. No, but like it shouldn't be this complex and complicated. It shouldn't be this difficult either.
Yes.
Like we have come so far in society. We have done so much. We don't need to have 20 million people off of healthcare, and that might be the response. That might be the reason why a million people die this year because they don't have healthcare. Like we're the richest country in the world.
We can't afford it.
Yeah, always. Where are we gonna find money for? Oh, but you can find $1 trillion to go fight a war in fucking Iraq and Iran
all day.
The amount of money that we spent on wars in the past 26 years is like $14 trillion, bro.
It's so
$14 trillion.
So stupid.
You know what we could have done with $4 trillion of those dollars? We could have built high-speed rail across the entire United States of America.
We don't want to do that.
No, we're going to do that. We could have given health care to every single Medicare for all.
No, but then you're gonna why would you want to
solve homelessness?
Why would we want you guys to have a nice, thriving lives and be happy, and then start thinking about how things could be even better while I'm on my yacht?
It's fucking crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. Yo, the screwworm that's out right now, screwworm, money with the USAID that was reserved for screwworm prevention.
Literally.
$15 million.
Literally.
Elon Musk and Doge cut it last year.
Literally, the literal shit that it's comical.
It's comical. It hadn't been around for 66 years. They hadn't seen it.
Shit is comical, bro. It's just comical.
All to save $15 million. You know how much they're having to reinvest now into it? $1 billion. Oh, efficiency. Efficiency my fucking ass.
But we're going to
cut those. Crazy, dog. $15 million. Oh, we got to save money. Now they have to spend $1 billion for prevention of it.
Bro, and that's like...
you can't make this shit up.
But it's like, man, we keep letting it happen. Like, and we at this... I know everybody, like, not to make it political, but like, man, this administration,
bro, make it
has
political.
been the worst,
podcast.
bro. It's been the worst. They've been the worst. Like, I don't understand how we got to this position. And it's like, man, I'm hoping that we could come out of this better than we went in the sense of like, okay, I hope it doesn't go too far left. Or too far right, whatever your perspective is.
I hope it goes
far left. I hope we can come back left. I hope it hasn't gone too far down this destruction path because the person that we have, the leadership, has shown that he will burn it to the ground. I mean, again, we're talking about a multiple failed business person is who we hired to be our chief and commander.
34-time convicted felon.
Although he's shown no previous experience of being a leader or a great business person.
And this is where you talk about like the whole meritocracy thing. And we don't live in a meritocracy. You try to act, they get mad at DEI. And they go, it's about meritocracy. When you got literally Pete Hegseth as the Secretary of Defense, he wants to call himself Secretary of War. What fucking credentials does he have to be that? What, like, the dude doesn't fucking know shit. He's an alcoholic.
That is literally DEI. He is a DEI hire.
All of Trump's people that he pretty much put in his cabinet are yes men. None of them, and yes women, none of them have fucking experience in this shit. Most of them don't. And you want to talk about DEI, we got to get rid of it because we're not putting the right. You guys are fucking hypocrites.
Well, you know what DEI means, though. People of color and women.
Yeah, that's what it means.
People of color and women. Yeah. Like, that's what DEI refers to. If you was a woman and you were hired, DEI. If you were a person of color and you were hired, DEI. If you're openly gay and you do something wrong, DEI. But if you could be Scott Best in it, I guess it don't matter. But still, like, it's so funny how they apply that to only a specific. They apply it to everyone but white males.
Yeah, but white males. And white males are literally the epitome of mediocrity.
Yes.
Literally epitome of mediocrity. The amount of mediocre white boys that I met at work where I'm like, bro, you ain't even fucking smart. What the hell? You just say yes and you nod your head and you do this. The amount of people that I know that are like managers in places and directors, I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Do what you gotta do.
I guess so. But they're working hard and they,
like I said, mediocrity is like, it's like the big thing. Bro, it's fucking insane. And the worst thing is, too, is that they love finding anecdotal evidence of, like, the one or two person of color or woman that may not have been qualified in some way or made a mistake or something. They're like, look at that, it was a freaking hire.
It ain't even not qualified, just any mistake.
Any mistake.
Even any perceived mistake. It ain't even got to be a mistake. It could be a perceived mistake. And here we go.
The whole air pilots and shit like that.
Well, like Charlie Kirk said the bullshit.
Give me the percentage of how many planes were crashed were being driven, were being piloted by white pilots. I guarantee you it's 90+%.
White males, probably.
White males, exactly. It's the same thing as, like, who started all the wars in this fucking world?
Yeah.
All men. All men. Oh, well, we can't trust a woman in there. Right. She might have her. But what the fuck you talking about?
She's gonna go and have one bad week, and then next year it's gonna be all war.
It's crazy. It's like, bro, come on, you got to be kidding me, bro. People want to stick by their beliefs. People want to stick to by what makes them feel good. And I also want to go back and we'll put it up again. Your favorite quote by Lyndon B. Johnson.
Oh my gosh,
this is what it is, bro.
Yeah. If you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best
black man,
then he will happily, or he won't notice when you're picking his pockets.
He won't notice.
Hell, give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you.
And there it goes. That ties our whole conversation. Oh, that person's lazy over there. That person doesn't put in those 80 hours.
Absolutely.
He's only putting in those 40 hours. You put in those 80 hours. That'll make you a better person.
How else can you even support something like mass deportation in America? It literally goes against the fabric of America. You have a place like New York City, like the melting pot. The melting pot. We welcome immigrants. This was the land of the free. You come here, opportunity, home of the brave, land of the free, all that. And now all of a sudden we talk about mass deportations.
Yeah.
And it's like, how does that even resonate with the American society, our whole, what we were founded on, what we thought to be the American dream? But I know it's good for, what's good for thee, and that's not necessarily good for, we, or however they want to say that. So it's just like, do as I say, not as I do.
Good for me, but not for thee.
There we go.
Hey, man, that was good. I wanted to definitely get that off the bat. But we'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on work ethic? What have you believed?
Who out there putting in the 80s?
Yeah, do y'all genuinely think that someone that works hard, again, I put that in quotations, you think that makes you a better person than other people? And what are your thoughts on laziness, which I don't believe that exists, and I want to read that book now. Laziness does not exist. So let us know what's good. But let's get into this fun facts.
Always the funnest part.
Fun fact. I'll go first, as you went first last time.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
We'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah.
This was really interesting because I don't know how many people truly know about this, but it's a staple in our lives. We don't know about it because we wouldn't know about it. It's not like something that we taste, but and I'm sure you know this, but did you know that fluoride has been in our water system since 1945?
Yeah.
In our community water systems?
Yeah. Yes,
and it's to prevent cavities in our teeth.
Right.
And this is just a staple that is very well known.
That's why the Europeans have different, that's why we tend to think we have better teeth than our European counterparts.
Oh, really? I thought it was the British.
That's European, right?
Yeah, when I hear European, I think all Europeans. Okay. All Europeans is just the British.
Let's just say we can stay with the British, but I think it's just in Europe in general, because I even think like France and some other places.
And so there's like a big debate on why there's fluoride's making people sick, but there was a time when so many children were getting cavities from drinking the water, so they started putting a little bit of fluoride in the water systems. This first happened in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It was part of a public health experiment.
That's so funny.
It was designed to test whether adding fluoride could successfully reduce tooth decay. And so the success was the study was super successful.
Yeah.
It showed a drastic reduction in cavities among children. So now this practice expanded globally globally. Yeah. So it's everywhere in the world. And so community water fluoridization is widely implemented to help strengthen teeth and prevent cavities.
Yeah.
I think that's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. I don't think that's the only, is that the only chemical we have in our water? I think there's some other minerals that we have in our water as well, though. But
and fluoride is what you find in your toothpaste.
Right.
That's what that is. And they just put small of it in. That's what we're drinking. That's what we have in here. And it's literally to help prevent cavities.
Yeah.
You know, public community health. I know a lot of people, you know, especially like the anti-vax people, all these like they think that it's like, they're trying to poison us. And to an extent, I don't think people are trying to poison us necessarily. I do believe that people are cutting shortcuts.
Yep.
Corporations.
Yes.
I don't think they're intentionally trying to poison us. Yeah, but they're trying to cut shortcuts and stuff like that. And there's some bad stuff in our food, like the pesticides and all that.
Yeah, all that. Yep.
But I don't think any of that is intentional to be like, oh, we want to kill people. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But yeah, people are having a big debate about fluoride and whether it's healthy for you and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
so I just found it very. But I'm like, it's been around since 1945.
Yeah. And the proof is in the water. You know, we can see.
Hey, knock on wood. I've never had a cavity.
Dead ass, bro. I done had some cavities.
I never had a cavity.
Boy.
Now, part of that is also genetics, though. So that's not.
I feel you.
Because I take care of my teeth, but I brush my teeth 2 times a day, maybe 3 times a day. I floss, but like I didn't floss for a while until I got older, and I've never had a cavity.
Shit, bro, I done had some. You don't want.
Probably I'm getting a little extra Florida in my water.
There you go. You're drinking that water. I ain't drinking that water. Drinking them sodas. Mountain Dew ain't good for you.
Yeah,
especially growing up. Yellow 5.
All
right. Well, my fun fact today is going to take us back to space. Okay. Well, I don't say. Well, yes, back to space and the vastness.
Always in space, Herb.
There we go.
Always in space.
There we go. So, we talked about the scale of the universe, scale of the Milky Way, and just to put this into context, if you were to shrink the size of the sun down to the dot of an eye on a normal text paper.
Okay.
So the sun is the size if you open up a textbook and you have an eye there, the dot is the sun.
Yeah.
How big do you think the Milky Way would be?
Oh shit.
The Milky Way.
It would be probably the size of the planet Earth.
There you go.
Yeah, planet Earth.
A little bit. It'll be a little bit bigger than the planet, the actual size of planet Earth. And just to give you context, we're talking about the sun. The sun is the size of the dot on an eye. Again, we can fit 1 million Earths into the sun.
Yep.
So we could put 1 million Earths into this dot of an eye.
1.3 million.
Over 1 million. Yeah. Over 1 million Earths into the dot of this eye, and the size of the Milky Way, not the universe. The Milky Way, our galaxy, will be the size of Earth is now.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. And the only reason I knew that was because there's this guy, you guys got to check him out. He's called Epic Spaceman that I follow him on YouTube. He does some of the most fascinating CGI videos. And the first one that blew up and got my attention is he did the scale of the universe. I'm sorry, the scale of the galaxy.
Yeah, yes.
And he did a similar, he did it with like, let's imagine that the sun was the size of a red blood cell.
Okay.
And the red blood cell would be sitting in Colorado, like being the center, and you put it on your fingertip, and the entire solar system would be the size of your fingertip. Right? The size of your fingertip. And he was like, how big would the Milky Way be? It would be the size of the entire North American continent.
That is just crazy, bro.
Bro, like people don't like.
Crazy. And we're talking about our galaxy. We're not talking about the universe.
Our galaxy is only 120,000 light years away. Only.
Yeah, only.
The universe is 93 billion, observable universe. Again. 93 billion light years in diameter.
Man, I know last week we spoke about spirits and all these other, extraterrestrial, paranormal activities and things like that. And I think that just goes back into like, if all of that exists, come on, there has to be some way that we get to see it.
Not you and I.
Not in this. I know it's not in this life form, so it has to be.
Not you and I, bro.
I just can't believe we're not gonna see.
I need to.
I think that's what it is, bro. My whole purpose in life now is gonna drive me. I got to see the end of the universe, or not even the end. I just want to see, like, at least take us to Andromeda.
Yeah,
let's let us see.
I really want to get next to a black hole and just see and witness and hear that's what I want to, and not get caught in it.
Yeah, just
but like
I just want
it. I want it. Like nobody knows what happens at the singularity.
Yeah, like, just let's go in. Let's want to see. We gotta know how.
Just give me something, dog.
And the fact that it's real and it's out there, and the fact that we can't experience it, we don't know anyone that has experienced it is crazy. It's just like driving. Like, I don't know. Now, just the more I've learned about it, I think the more and more I'm burning up. And like, man, we got this.
You know what we need to do, and we need to bring you need to bring your lady and Christy and all that. We need to go out to Big Ben, and check out the stargazing there too.
Yes.
That Milky Way galaxy out there, the pictures that I'm seeing out there. I've showed you, right? I showed you the pictures. The picture, Christy took, give her the picture. She's drawn it, bro. It's incredible. Incredible.
Isn't something going on this year where Venus and Jupiter going to line up maybe?
Maybe. I know all the planets will line up at like every 7 years or something like that. Don't quote me on that. That might be wrong.
But like the fact you can like see them in the night sky. Like
for as much as I love the sky, I don't ever look up at the sky with like a telescope. I do look up all the time and I go, I can't believe that's a star that's probably 20,000 light years away.
That part, yes.
I want to do like straight up stargazing. And there's a bunch of stargazing events here, but we're in the city. I want to go out. That's why I want to go out to Big Bend and like grab a telescope and just like, I heard it's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
The things you see is incredible. So that's what we need to do, bro.
Hey, man, there we go. Well, hey, we need y'all support. Like, comment, subscribe.
Holla.
And then we
let us know your thoughts, yo. Hey, Herb, another successful episode.
Successful episode.
Peace, yo.
Episode.
Holla.
Peace.